It'll be straightforward.
Maybe not. I got a call this morning, 6:05 to be precise. Christopher Unsworth is coming to the presentation.
Unsworth?
He wants to hear about zero tolerance. All about it.
Are you serious?
He's looking to include it in his proposal back to the ministry. The word is spreading. You gathered all your data?
Well, I wasn't planning on presenting the full details until next week. Today was just going to be an overview. But it will be done.
I'd expect nothing less.
Thank you. Right, Jane, we've got a problem. Hi, Elliot.
What's the problem?
The problem is Steve Hewitt. No? Well, he's a patient we've treated a number of times over the past...
5 years.
5 years?
I still don't understand.
He's had a variety of cardiothoracic procedures.
A smoker?
Overweight. Drinker.
Okay, not exactly a shining example of zero tolerance. I get the picture.
No, you don't get the whole picture. You're familiar with the Welfare Relief Fund?
Yes, of course. Oh, hang on a minute. Stephen Hewitt. Yes, I know all about his relief fund. This hospital's put in an application. Where is he?
He's on Keller. Rick, in his wisdom, seems to think he's a GS case, even though I labelled him CT with GS complications. Do you know what, Jane? You can't interfere like this.
He is director of surgery.
Tolerance seems to be the order of the day. I think on this occasion we should drop the zero.
Yeah, but you know what? Rick doesn't see it like that. I'm sorry, but he's on a crusade.
You were right to want to have him transferred from Keller. If Rick insists on him seeing a general surgeon, let's see if Michael has a bed on Holby Care.
Steve Hewitt won't go private. It's against his religion.
Right now, let's just get him a bed away from Keller.
I think I might make myself scarce when Rick finds out.
He's a patient who has repeatedly used our resources to fix problems that he's shown no interest in fixing himself. He's out.
Mr. Hewitt?
Yeah.
So you've already talked about this. Then you'll know that this is about zero tolerance.
No, not this time.
What is so special about this man?
Rick, last year this hospital received over £800,000 in charitable donations. Each year we rely heavily on the larger agencies to provide us with the bulk of this vital income.
I get it.
Our largest application this year, £350,000 from the Welfare Relief Fund.
Mr. Hewitt.
Please.
The man is dangerously overweight. He's a smoker. He's a drinker.
Yes, I have been told.
Zero tolerance was set up precisely to prevent this kind of patient from abusing the system.
Abusing. He needs treating.
He's not critical. Any surgical intervention will just be compromised by his excessive weight.
The man is sitting on a ward in pain. I think it's our duty.
It is not our duty. It is his duty. This man needs to change the way he lives his life.
Do you know what? I wasn't trained to make moral judgments on my patients. I was trained to treat them.
All right. Say I do treat him. What happens then? In a few weeks or a month's time, he'll be back, and you know it.
Rick, no one is a greater supporter of zero tolerance than I am.
This is not just about the hospital, it's about the patients. You said it yourself. If I can back the policy up with results, then I should dig my heels in. That is what you said, isn't it?
I did, but you must see this as a delicate situation. His money isn't just a nice to have, it's vital.
I'm sorry, Jane. I can't stand up in front of the trustees extolling the principles of zero tolerance and then not stick to them myself. I can't do it. I won't do it. I'm sorry.
See what happens when you give a man a title?
Mr. Hewitt's still here?
I wanted him to talk to a nutritionist, but he'll be leaving shortly. Look, Jane, I'm not naive to the financial opportunity. I do understand how important these donations are.
Without them, there'd be no path lab, no updated machinery. Your real-time imager would become an impossibility. Rick, I am not just saying that. New technologies are the first things to be shelved when the strings have to be tightened.
You're assuming that by discharging Mr. Hewitt, you're going to be harming your
The
application.
man's come here to be treated, and we're refusing him. I don't think he's going to be running home to write us a check, do you?
The point of this policy, one that I know that you approve of, is to ensure that patients take their health seriously. Now, I've made it very clear that we're more than willing to treat him once he's taken steps to improve his own health.
You're prepared to risk a lot.
Principles aren't principles unless you're prepared to stick to them.
I admire your stance. It's the stuff directors of surgery should be made of. But in positions of authority, we don't always have the luxury of black and white. We have to make tough decisions. Okay, you may be right. The action you take today may not affect our application, but you could just as easily be wrong. I just don't want to be responsible for risking all that money. It would offer huge benefits to everyone who comes into this hospital. Connie knows this man. She thinks it's a risk.
Connie's been treating this man for how many years? How come we've never seen any money previously? Jayne, you might not even be in the running for any of this money. I just think it would be a shame to compromise something as important as zero tolerance, as far-reaching, all on the basis of a lot of maybes.
At least talk to him again. Help him to understand that you're not just being stubborn, that your only interest is his health. That is the ultimate point of zero tolerance, isn't it? Stephen Hewitt.
Yes, I sent him home.
I know. I just received a call from Martin Fulbright. He is the commercial director of the Welfare Relief Fund. It seems Mr. Hewitt was impressed with the treatment he received here. He was especially impressed with you. Mr. Fulbright told me to expect confirmation of this year's donation within the next week. A large donation. That ought to make Unsworth sit up.
Well, wait till he sees the rest of the data.
How is the presentation going?
It's pretty much done.
Okay, Unsworth's on his way, so...
Right, well, I'll go and meet him.
Well,
Rick, I thought Donna was done for the trial.
The efficacy rate has risen by 52% across the period.
the early results are extremely encouraging.
It's the exact definition of a win-win situation. The hospital shows a 33% reduction in inpatient spend, and treatment time almost halved at 48. Forgive me.
Anybody else feel left out?
Excuse me.
You'll have to bear with us for a moment.
We'll reconvene the meeting for another day.
Unsworth left impressed.
He liked it. The data was strong. It was well presented.
Until I had to pop out. Told you so?
I'm not saying that. We need to think about whether we did right by the patient today.
And by his donation.
That's not fair.
Well, in the end, we saved his life.
In the car park.